Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot. Now, I know I said I wouldn't be doing any more readings this month, but I have a few spare hours, so hopefully I'll be able to do all 12 for the Lunar Galactic download for this month. The moon will be passing across 16, 17 degrees Sagittarius on the 22nd, which also happens to be the fall equinox. So when I saw that, I thought, oh no, I can't miss that one. Now, the equinox, as you probably know, fall equinox, autumnal equinox, equal hours of light and dark, seeking a point of balance. Interesting, since it is also the point of going into Libra, the scales. Well, that's probably where the symbolism came from in the first place. Now, listening to the various astrologies, Chris Witecki on his Namaste Today, shared on my Facebook page, link down below, of course, talks about the sun ingress into Libra, about coming into a new relationship with ourselves, whereas Astrology with Heather also said seeking to come into balance. Not necessarily finding that balance. I mean, hey, have you seen the world? But seeking to come into that balance, making the effort to move towards it. Now, this is also the Feast of Mabon, which, although people talk about the Wheel of the Year being an old thing, which it is, Mabon's recognition only seems to derive from the 1970s onwards. But anyway, he was a child of the light and son of Mother Earth, I think, if I remember correctly. I did print some notes out, but they're over there. Now, this is a time for reaping, for the second harvest, the fruit harvest, and a time for review for everything that you started putting into action in the spring equinox and in the early side of the year. Well, it's also a good point about the fall equinox is Jupiter has just changed to go direct, so it's signifying a good change in in consciousness and confidence, maybe, but a good change in consciousness. All in all, pretty good omens, pretty good symbols. Now, considering that with the Mars-Saturn square, Mars-Pluto square, Mars-Jupiter square, Mercury, T-square, Mars and Saturn, that doesn't figure, does it? But it's Mercury's coming into T-square of something or other, and I'm sure Mars and Saturn are involved there, but maybe Saturn must be T-squaring. But anyway, moving on. Watch the Astrology with Heather video for more details on that. Again, link down below on my Facebook page, link down below. But I want to look at the symbol for 0 degrees Libra. Now, the Chandra symbol is, and not at all stereotypical, a group of fat Italian ladies preparing bread. Now, it says this is an archetypal, universal and diffuse allegiances, activities and realms of experience, becoming camouflaged perfectly by adopting a persona that is wondrously engaging and easy connected with. So that does indicate an energy to put people at ease and to start rebuilding relationships if they've been destroyed. However, the interpretation goes on, putting it on a bit heavy, thick grease paint. You exult in getting away with seeming to be the world's most anonymous person. The disguise can stick to the face. Overt consciousness awash in mass identification. At times you are able to penetrate through and find open possibilities, but you are primarily engrossed in the outer and alive to the advertised sensations of what it is like to be popular, well received and simply welcome wherever you go as part of the mix, and no problem at all. So, bit double-edged. Well, to me, I think that's a little bit double-edged about that whole subsuming yourself in mass identification. But if you're trying to smooth over any divisions, then that's quite useful. Now, the Omega symbol, which I really like a lot more, is an apothecary shop in which herbal concoctions and other medicines appear as needed. So this is talking about desire and need combined with pure intent, creating their own fulfillment spontaneously. And the oracle of this degree, which explores it more, where is it? So, and I love this little story, an alchemist invented an apothecary shop which mirrored completely the realm of disease. Anyone who entered it immediately reflected their essence onto the mind of the shop, which then generated the herbs and compounds as an echoing of felt needs. The shop held all of the answers and solutions that one could ever desire. Now, what was curious was how few people came to the shop. And of those few who came and took home the medicines, how many of the medicines were placed on a shelf somewhere and forgotten about? So the shop, always desirous of improving the potency and efficacy of its products, began focusing on other medications such as songs, weather and memory clusters, which is harvested out of people and distilled into custom-made homeopathic essences. Illusions, properly selected and harvested, were also found to be highly salutary. Well, salutary I would have thought meant to say hello, but I assume that means some form of healing. That sounds perfect and a little bit double-edged. Hopefully it is reflecting your actual need and not what you think your needs are, because let's face it, we're all on this, if you're on that self-exploratory trip, we're all well aware of the difference between the two. So, to the cards, this is going to be a general reading for your star sign. This is a bulk introduction, as ever. There will be a timestamp down below, so once you've seen the introduction once, you don't have to watch it again. And I advise that you look at your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. Particularly, I would say, on this one, your moon, since we are talking about seeking balance, and the first place to seek balance is within your feelings, because if you don't get the balance there, you're not going to get the balance anywhere else. So as a general reading rules apply. You know the script here, you know, roles can be reversed if someone else appears. It's an oracle card driven reading, so you can ask a question beforehand. I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to give you an answer in any form that can relate to the question, but we're looking at the energies coming in. This is the model, and some astrologer friends of mine have contested this, but basically this is tarot, not astrology. But looking at what energies coming from Galactic Center are filtered by the moon and how they can affect us this season, especially with it being fall equinox. Especially with Jupiter just going direct. There is quite a challenging month ahead for us astrologically, but it looks like the fall equinox energies can really give us a springboard to hurtle through it and take advantage of the challenges that come to us, rather than just going, no, 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 no more, no more. Although, if you find yourself huddling in a corner rocking and saying no more 2020 please, I don't blame you. Won't get a lot done, but I don't blame you. But try not to do that, because hey ho, we have got to make it to the end of the year somehow, you know. Even if my favourite election bumper sticker so far is Giant Asteroid 2020. So yeah, comment down below. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Join the Facebook page, because if you're a Facebook person, you know, social dilemma notwithstanding, because I don't just post my videos, I post videos from the astrologers, the various, you know, astrology weather reports, Achita Bava, Astrology with Heather, Ksenia Moore, astrology podcast. Now there's always a good investment. It's normally about 2.5 hours long. Rick Levine, Astrology Hub. Can't think of any more right now, but I know that there's oodles more that I watch, but I want to get on with the cards. So let's bring them up. Okay, Libra, and welcome Libra Rising and Libra Moon if you've just joined us after the timestamp. There is a lot of information here in the cards that you see in front of us. Now, I think I'm going to entitle this reading, and I mean this in a good way, but take a good look at yourself. There's some really interesting cards here. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. Now, we've just had the new moon in Virgo, so that indicates to me that we've got a 6-month period to work with this. But that's immediately followed with choices and trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So there is something that you are being asked to look at within you. If there is some form of sensation that, hang on a minute, this isn't quite right, this isn't what I'm wanting, this isn't what I'm after, I've got a mad hair just going loose, this isn't what I'm wanting, this isn't what I'm after, this isn't quite where I expect it to be. It's almost like I feel like you might be in a position where you're feeling, well, hang on a minute, I've got everything that I wanted. This is what I wanted to be here. Now, I'm not saying that you've got everything that you want, like, car, house, job, lover, whatever. But where you are right now is a result of choices that you have taken with motivations that you have had, that maybe some of those motivations you're not aware of. We've got the hidden motivations card here. And with this trust and niggle, we also have Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. So if there is that feeling of disquiet, now bear in mind that all the planets are starting to turn direct. We had practically everything retrograde a couple of weeks ago. Jupiter is already direct. Saturn is about to turn direct. Now, is Pluto direct or not? I can't recall. Let's just have a look. Soon tell you. Pluto and Neptune and Uranus and Saturn are still all retrograde. And Chiron, for that matter, so you still have some reviewing time left to but almost like there's a call to awareness of, if you haven't started that review period, crack on, get on with it, because it's almost like I want you to start exploring your creativity. Is there a side of you that has not yet seen the light of day? Is there a side of you that you have not yet revealed to the world? Because we also have here cracked open. Now this card, it says rock bottom, which doesn't bode well, does it? And surrender to the alchemy of life. But it's almost like, what I'm feeling from it is like a caterpillar coming out of its cocoon, or more to the point, a butterfly coming out of its cocoon, so that there's a chance for you to have a metamorphosis of your own design, but you need to be aware of your own motivations in the process. So if where you are right now is making you go, "Ooh, no, did I want to be here?" And I think you will probably find, well, actually the answer is yes, even though I didn't expect here is what I was going to end up, and I didn't think here is what I was aiming for, but yes, I did want to be here. And if I'm not happy here, well, why did I want to be here? And if I'm not happy here, then what was it that I was wanting? So start wanting different things. Simple as that. And have a look at your motivations, because change is coming. As Azrael, angel of death, that is a change that cannot be fought. So that's not to say that death is coming. That is to say that change is coming. And with any change, there is a death of something. You get a job, there's a death of poverty. Hopefully. Not a guaranteed thing nowadays, thinking about it. But this is the death of unemployment. Let's put it that way. And this is a change that you're going to be able to see coming, with it being led by Gabriel, angel of heralds, the angel of the Annunciation. But you are being asked to really look within you. And what was interesting is in the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we got Haamia with ritual and ceremony, but also the Galactic Spirit Voile with impossible plans. Now I'm feeling that these impossible plans are a good thing. These impossible plans are something that you should be trying to achieve. They may look like they're impossible. They may well be impossible, but who cares? It is the striving for them and the reaching for them that where the growth comes, where the change comes, and you can do that creatively because you have a choice at the moment. And with the recent astrology, you're lucky that choice is still there for you. You haven't set stuff in stone, but like I say, there is still how many? I've forgotten now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and of course Mars. So 6. There are still 6 objects retrograde, 5 of which are planets. So you know, there's a lot of retrograde healing energy there at the moment. So yeah, whatever that niggle is, it's something where you can go, right, I need to change this. I can change this. Okay, there we go. There's some because that niggle is actually bringing you a new dream to work with, or revealing to you more a dream that you've already been carrying, I believe. Yes, with the angel of creativity being clarified here by the Fool card. So it is giving you that extra oomph, that extra I can change this. Yes, Ace of Cups on the Choices card. You can there is a new dream being presented to you. You've simply just got to look within. What is really nice is that at the end here, we have the sun. The golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. A labyrinth, transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration and enlightenment. And then the power symbol, cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body. Interesting that turns up, because we also have here, water your garden, which talks about nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Whoops, I'm just throwing my cards everywhere. Yeah, spend a little bit of time of self-love, because with that you are good enough card, that makes me think that maybe you haven't been spending enough time on the self-love. Now, a lot of my readings have been talking about the effects that you can have on other people, but you, Libra, you need to look at the effects that you can have on yourself. And maybe you need to perform some form of ritual or ceremony of your own devising. I mean, let's face it, the Equinox indicates, you know, one of the Wheel of the Year ceremonies. You've just had a nice new moon, you've got a good full moon coming up, or you could just do a ritual because it's Saturday. You know, there's but whatever it is, have a look at what it is that you really want to grow in your life. Hidden motivations here, clarified by the Empress. And what I really like about this hidden motivations card, if you look, the joyful world is not around the character, it's within the character. So the hidden motivations are not a bad thing. But what I'm concerned with is that the motivations may well have been hidden from yourself. You can use ceremony and ritual here to transform yourself, Judgment card, to create those impossible plans and to move forward, to get all of the energy that is waiting for you. Let's put that there. Waiting for you. With this Sun, Labyrinth and Power Symbol cards, you have to spend some time taking a little bit of time of self-love, because if you don't, you're just going to end up torturing yourself. Let me make that little bit smaller, and you'll see that that was the Nine of Swords that just turned up there. So, but again, I'm feeling positive about that. Nine's a rebirth. And the way it's positioned directly opposite that you are good enough, it's almost like you will have the opportunity to face your own fears and overcome them, to face your own insecurities and overcome them, to actually say, no, I can't let this worry me anymore, and find creative ways to move past whatever this particular block is. Or, now I don't want to say where you've been lying to yourself, because that sounds awful, and I don't think that you have been lying to yourself, and I do think that you've ended up in a position where you have got everything that you wanted. What you need to say now is, why on earth did I want this? And work that out, and then work out what you really, really, really want. Do you know what I mean? Because you have the opportunity to really manifest, Queen of Wands here, a whole new self if you allow it to come out. So those secret desires and those secret ambitions and those secret plans that you have, there's no need for them to be so secret anymore. Bring them into the real world, because if not now, when? And that really is, that's all I want to say about this whole reading, because this, again, this is a lovely reading, but you have to put the work in. Choices. You have to decide whether you're going to take on the burden of self-worth, because it looks like there may be some motivations within you that have tried to steer you away from the burden of self-worth. And yes, I say burden because 1, 10 of Wands, but 2, if it's not your habit, it'll feel a bit weird to start off with. But a little bit of ritual and a little bit of awakening your creative self, and that is indicating to me that you will, when this change hits, which will be announced, you're going to know that this is coming. Whatever this change is, you're going to know that it's coming. You know, so if it's, well, for example, if you're being released from a job due to economic circumstances, normally you know it's coming. You might be given notice that it will happen next week, or the end of this week, or next month, or something like that. You may, I mean, not always, I know, but there's an example of change that you are alerted to is coming. And when that change arrives, I think you are being advised to meet it with an inner self of yours that you have not let out before. And if you do, the Empress, the Sun, the Labyrinth, you know, really the Fool, new beginnings. There's a real nice energy there, because the change is going to happen. Azrael cannot be stopped. So you want to be in the best form, in the best shape to work with this change. So look after yourself, rest, recuperate, feed yourself good stuff. You know, do all the, and look after yourself doesn't necessarily mean a Netflix and chill day. It might be go out for a brisk walk, get the spring cleaning done, get your papers in order, get this in order, get that in order. The doing things that have an end result of being good for you, not just sitting on the couch with ice cream feeling good. Because you probably won't, the next morning, you won't be feeling as good again. You'll just be in the same space as what you were before. So the practical things are required from you here. But there's, be with you in a moment, Tishwas, the cat. There's, and she's really thrown me now. But yeah, there's this looks like a wonderful opportunity for you if you grab onto it. And that's all I've got to say, really, Libra. So if it means anything to you, comment down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join the Facebook page. And I will see you next for your monthly readings. Monthly readings? And monthly readings even. Cheers.